California, song Fair Charlotte. Fair Charlotte lived on a mountainside in a wild and lonely spot. Not another dwelling for 3 miles round except her father's cot. And yet on many a rainy night young swains would gather there, for her father kept a social abode and she was very fair. All in the village, some 15 miles, there was a ball one night, and though the air was very cold, young hearts were warm and light. Her eager looks and trembling hands when a well-known voice she heard, as driving up to the cottage door Charles Leslie did appear. Her mother said, "My daughter dear, this blanket round you fold. The air is very cold tonight, you'll take your death of cold." But no, no, cried Charlotte, cried, and she laughed like a gypsy queen. To ride in a blanket muffled up I never would be seen. My satin coat is quite enough, you know it's lined throughout. Besides, I have a silken scarf to tie my neck about. Her bonnet and her gloves were on, she jumped into the sleigh, and o'er the fields by the mountainside and o'er the hills away. There's music in the sound of bells as o'er the fields they go. What a cracking noise the runners make as they bite the frozen snow. They rode along in silence until 5 long miles were passed. Charles Leslie spoke these frozen words and the stillness broke at last. Said Charlie, "It is very cold tonight, the lines I scarce can hold." Then Charlotte spoke in a feeble voice, "I am exceeding cold." He cracked his whip and urged his horse much faster than before, and 5 more of these dreary miles in silence they passed o'er. Said Charles, "How fast the frozen frost has gathered on my brow." And Charlotte spoke but very low, "I'm growing warmer now." They rode along through the cold frosty air, also the cold starlight, and at last they reached the village inn, and the ballroom was in sight. Charles Leslie sprang out of the sleigh and offered up his hand. "Why sit you there like a monument there that has no power to stand?" He asked her once, he asked her twice, but she said not a word. He asked her for her hand again never stirred. He tore the man's brow, the cold stars on her shone, and quickly right into the light, a lifeless corpse was born. He tried that was in their Lord to restore, but Charlotte was a frozen corpse, she never spoke no more. He looked her so wistfully and kissed her marble brow, and his thoughts went back to the place, warmer now. He took her up into his arms, and with her he drove her home. a dreadful sight for Pep and mourned. They mourned the loss of their daughter, dear Charles Leslie mourned her doom, until his tender heart did break. Now they slumber in one tomb.